Looking at these election results, we have seen some clear trends, if you will, coming out. We've seen the far right essentially sidelined in the country, the right wing, Les Républicains, or the Republicans, making somewhat of a comeback, and the left also making gains. But given this low turnout, is this really a reliable barometer for what we should expect from the presidential election in 2022?
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because we've all been talking about a sort of rerun of the second round of the last presidential election, Macron versus Marine Le Pen. But actually, I think the story of this is, again, something entirely different. Of course, Marine Le Pen, we heard, angrily calling on supporters last time round to kind of do their duty, as it were. But she didn't get that national rally. The far right were sort of really trumped at the election. They didn't get any more votes whatsoever. They seem to kind of fall back from that original position. That is a really disappointing performance for them, and a very heartening performance for those interested in the future of the Republic. But as you said, I think there are interesting signs. Interesting, of course, Emmanuel Macron wanted République En Marche to be kingmakers, he said, maybe to win a region or two. But ultimately, it looks like he himself, voting up in Touquet, Le Touquet, perhaps voted for Xavier Bertrand himself, one of his key rivals, we reckon, for 2022. And of course, that will be one of the big questions. Les Républicains, the centre-right, we saw the three big kind of pillars of the right. Of course, Valérie Pécresse, Xavier Bertrand, as we mentioned, even Laurent Wauquiez as well, who's all have been kind of returned very strongly in their regions. It will be interesting to see. I don't think someone like Laurent Wauquiez is actually going to have a chance in the presidential, but he's going to certainly have a chance to disrupt and kind of distort the primary competition that's going to come in the autumn, I think, as Les Républicains try and figure out who is going to challenge Macron. But I don't think we should completely write off the Socialist Party, who, of course, in returning people like Carole Delga, resoundingly down in Occitanie, we see something there, like with Anne Hidalgo building that kind of municipal base in Paris, Carole Delga kind of returning this regional base, building out of Toulouse. And we've seen something there from the Parti Socialiste, which suggests there is still life in the party and still prospects when it comes to 2022. So I don't think anything's been answered tonight in terms of the next presidential election, but a lot more new issues to discuss and a lot more to play out in the weeks and months to come.